John Clayton right now. Go ahead, John. What have you found out?
Well, it certainly had to come down to a lot of the coaching hires and what they were trying to do that led to this parting of the ways. And finally, I guess Jeff Fisher decided it's time to move on, and Bud Adams decided it was time to move on. You know, this has been a very stormy offseason and really a stormy season for both. Bud was disappointed in the way the season went for the Titans. Jeff frustrated by the way that Bud Adams supported Vince Young. And now there was, I think, a lot of disagreement on what to do with the staff. And Jeff clearly was having some difficulty hiring staff. He had to fire Chuck Cecil, the defensive coordinator. He lost one of the most valuable guys on his staff, Jim Washburn. And so now Jeff Fisher has to move on, and the Titans have to hire a coach.
Where do you think Jeff Fisher moves on to? I know it just happened, Sean. This just happened, and yet there's a coach with a good track record. Where do you think he goes?
I give you a don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if he emerges as a defensive coordinator with the Philadelphia Eagles. I know that Andy Reid, just in the last 2 hours, has told a couple candidates that he was looking at that he's now closed that defensive coordinator job. And even though there's no confirmation that Jeff would be the guy that would be going in there, you could see with Jim Washburn there could be a fit. He could park himself for a year. He could maybe be a coach in waiting at the Philadelphia Eagle job. But do not be surprised if he ends up very quickly in Philadelphia working with Andy Reid.
John, we mentioned this earlier when we first had the first report, the initial report, that there seemed to be, obviously, there was a power struggle or a rift involving their starting quarterback, Vince Young. Young reportedly was going to be released, but he has not actually been released yet. That seemed to be a win for Fisher. What happens to Vince Young now?
Well, we still stay with what Bud Adams said, and that there's going to be a change there. But, of course, we already see that Fisher was supposed to be back and he's not. I'd say at the moment it's going to have to be under review because they really don't have a quarterback if they trade him or release him. You know, Kerry Collins is a 38-year-old quarterback and is unsigned at the moment. So I think it's going to be under review for the new coach who would try to come in there. So overall, I mean, it does appear that he would have a chance to come back, but no firm thing because, again, right now we're just finding out in the last hour that this indeed didn't happen, that Jeff Fisher is gone.
All right, let me ask you that just before we go then, John. What about the Titans? What is the talent pool available out there?
Well, there's not many guys left in the staff, so they may not go internally. You know, Mike Heimerdinger, I guess, could be a candidate, but it depends on his health. Certainly Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator who had been with Jeff for so many years, he's in New Orleans right now. I think he's a guy that Bud Adams would like. So if it's an offensive coach, it could be Heimerdinger, it could be Williams, but also, too, they could open up a job search, and that could be very complicated at this late of a date.
Okay. Again, this just coming out this evening. Again, Jeff Fisher, after 16 full years with the Tennessee Titans, out there as of tonight. John, thank you so much.